Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about SUPAC guidelines, that is scale up and post approval changes. In that we will discuss about introduction. So every pharmaceutical company have a change control procedure. Whenever there is a change in the system, layout or process, equipment or specification, it should undergo through change control system. So whenever we are changing any system that will have impact on the quality of product, that should be evaluated properly. And after that, proper corrective and preventive action should be taken. So, while taking corrective and preventive actions, so what are the documents to be made? How it is evaluated? So, these things are very important by evaluating. So, this guideline will tell about whenever you change any formula or whenever you change the equipment or whenever you change the process, how we can evaluate, what the documentation, so how much levels of changes that we can implement. So all these are discussed in SUPAC guidelines. So in part first we will discuss about introduction, definition, SUPAC documents, SUPAC guidelines. In the part 2 we will discuss about level of changes, then component and composition, then manufacturing change, that is process and equipment change, and limitation of SUPAC, and finally summary. Coming to the introduction. In earlier days, in-house change control system was there and scope is limited to the plant level only, determining the importance of various changes and impact on the product quality. Okay, just to fill the change control form and we don't know how much to evaluate. Okay, whether we have to give for stability studies, whether we have to go for validation studies. So how much? So we don't know. So every company is doing their own risk assessment studies based on their experience. So that is why this guideline will helpful to overcome such problems. So change control has proposal and approval part. So you are proposing the change. After evaluating the risk, what are risks involved in that, then it is implemented and what are the action plans taken to overcome the problems. It is approval part, and you have to see the effective implementation of the changes. How can we update the changes in the information given to FDA approved applications? So that is given in this SUPAC guideline. That is, after approval of if any changes is done, it's called post approval changes. FDA issued clear guidance in November 1999, that is 21 CFR 314.70, changes to approved applications. That is recommended reporting changes for component and composition changes. So whenever you change the component, compositions or equipment, what are the action to be taken? All that is given in the SUPAC guideline. Next, coming to what do you mean by quality assessment? So manufacturing science, whenever you are manufacturing a product, it will involve manufacturing science, that is pharmaceutical engineering is there, technology is there, In that various production methods, systems, facilities, equipment, everything is involved. Even the pharmaceutical science principles, like mainly pharmaceutical chemistry, in that organic chemistry, inorganic, physical, biochemical, analytical, methodology, validation, analysis, even the SARs, study of drug design, when the pharmaceutical study of the drug formulation, and other fields like math, statistics, microbiology, GMP, all are involved whenever we are telling a manufacturing process. If anything changes, like simple one, I will tell mixing changes. Okay, mixing equipment changes or mixing process changes, then what happens? All I have to consider, even the manufacturing science, even the pharmaceutical science, even the statistical GMP aspect, all I have to consider. So that is why the evaluation of the change is very, very important. What is SUPAC? In the process of developing a new drug product, the batch size used in the earlier human studies are very small. Before giving the application approval, only we are doing the development scale and only biobatch, that is around 20 to 25,000 tablets, only for clinical trials. But once you submit the application, you will get the approval, then you will go for scale up. That time I have to evaluate, that is scale up during the original dossier assessment. The size of the batches gradually increased, that is called scale up. The scale up process and the change made after approval should be evaluated. The guidance is issued by Center for Drug Evaluation and Research, USFDA, that is CDER, USFDA. SUPAC guidance provide recommendation in sponsors of, that is new drug applicants, that is NDA, new drug applications, abbreviated new drug applications, ANDAs, is mainly for generic drugs, abbreviated antibiotic drug applications. And who intend that change during the post-approval period, that is like changes like components or composition changes, site of manufacture changes, scale up and scale down manufacturing, that is change in the process and equipment. So what to do, all that is mentioned in the SUPAC guideline. So same thing as represented diametrically, that is new drug, you have the NDA approved by FDA, scale up, you have a large increase in the batch size, scale up. So you have to review the SUPAC guideline. Once again here also, generic drug product, bioequivalent FDA reference listed, that is RLD product. So ANDA approval you will get. If scale up required, you will go for larger batch size. Once again you have to go through the SUPAC guideline, what to do. So coming to the scientific rationale, to expedite the process of post-approval change of drug products, FDA can assure their safety and effectiveness of product, lower the regulatory burden for industry. SUPAC guidelines as supporting documents to understand the significance of changes and to assist the decision making. So you have a guideline, so exactly tells what to do. Everything is clearly defined, so then you don't have the problem. So everybody will follow the same procedure, what to do. So when you follow all these guidelines, you will get the benefits. So but once again, nothing substitute of critical thinking, chemistry, manufacturing and controls. Okay, you will change, but you have to think why I have made that change and what is the impact of that change on my quality of the product, that is chemistry, manufacturing and controls. So that is why not only referring the guideline, you should also think, okay, that the change was required. So these are the impact on my product quality. All should be ensured. So same thing here represented in the flow chart. You have NDA, that is new drug application, abbreviated new drug application, then abbreviated antibiotic drug application. So after approval, can you change the batch size or commercial size? Follow SUPAC guidelines. Once again, what are the changes made? That is, you can have level 1 change, level 2 change, level 3 change. That can be minor, moderate or major change, you can tell. So change in the batch size, change in the equipment, change in the manufacturing side, changes in the process or changes in the raw material supplier. So what are the various SUPAC documents for quality assessment? First is SUPAC IR for immediate release solid oral dosage forms. It is November 1995 implementation. Then SUPAC MR, that is modified release solid dosage form, so came into existence September 1997. Then SUPAC IR, that is question and answers, February 1997. Then SUPAC SS for non-sterile semi-solid dosage forms including creams, gels, ointments and lotions, that is in May 1997. And post-approval changes for analytical testing laboratories, that is in April 1998. So these are the various SUPAC documents published by the US FDA. So next, coming to the introduction to SUPAC IR guideline, that is immediate release, prepared by SUPAC Expert Working Group, CDER. So result of scale-up workshop by American Association of Pharmaceutical Scientists, then USP convention and various departments of FDA, US FDA. Then research from University of Maryland, Michigan and International Society of Pharmaceutical Engineering, mainly for equipment addenda. So these are the various societies or various associations who came together and formed a SUPAC guideline. So SUPAC IR guidance define levels of changes, recommended chemistry, manufacturing and controls for each level of change, in vitro, in vivo requirement for each level of change, required documentation to support the change. So all these are in the SUPAC IR guidelines. So in the next session, we will discuss about what are the level of changes, how we can implement it, and what are the documentation we are required, that we will discuss. Okay, thank you.